Here we go. Hey, hold my beer.
And now...
How's it going, man?
Great. I took pictures before we got started. This
well,
is like, I hope this stuff comes out.
Elephant in the room. If you're not watching the video, you are missing out on a sight to see. Bobby apparently went down south on an alien because it's colorful. That was a bit much. Sorry,
an alien.
But I'm trying to explain that lime green, bro. It's Kelly green. It's Eagles green. It's but of course the masterpiece, the beauty, the bulk of his face is covered in that beautiful Chiefs red. So I love it. That's
in the mirror. Festive, it looks orange.
Orange. Well, with the hat
mirror.
On and everything, it looks very red. So
I'm saying when I put it on because of how brown my beard is, it looked very orange.
Your beard doesn't have enough red in it to make it solid red?
No, and the sun is when the red shows out.
Yeah.
So like this is like, I went way too heavy on this. It's way stiffer than when I had just green in that one
That's funny.
episode.
Well, that mustache, again, it looks like Grinch fur. It looks like Grinch fur, and that's awesome.
It probably feels like Grinch fur. It feels like if a dog had mange.
It looks like Cat in the Hat, or not Cat in the Hat.
I picked it up to.
Who's the dude that speaks for the trees and his sweet mustache? It totally looks like
the
him.
Lorax?
Yeah, the Lorax meets the Grinch. That's totally the vibe.
I don't have orange. What I should have done was probably went white and then put streaks of red. Or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Then people would think you're celebrating Cinco de Mayo early or something like that.
Well, I mean, this is are we coming up on Lent this Wednesday or is that next Wednesday?
Next
Tomorrow?
Wednesday, I think. Yeah.
Or Ash Wednesday, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
Fat Tuesday's next Tuesday.
Yep.
Yep. Okay.
So
either way. Well, I have no team in the process. I just know the festivities have kicked off and they're in full force.
They have indeed. So with no team, just to clarify for everybody here, who are you cheering for, Bobby, as a Cowboys fan?
I do want to see history be made. I want to see that. So, like, for that reason, but plus I love Andy Reid. All right. I love the whole process that he's going through, but like I'm not going to lose sleep over if whatever team loses, if that makes sense. But I do want to see history be made.
I agree. And it being my team is just kind of a nice little perk. I probably would not have agreed if we were talking about the Patriots, but we're talking about the Chiefs, so I'm excited.
I think you guys are hated more than the Patriots ever were.
I don't disagree. Like, it is bad. The hate for the Chiefs is so bad. Like, Casey will come home and tell me the crap that he's heard people say about the Chiefs, and I relish it. I love it. I think it's so funny. I just love that people get so bent out of shape, and I'm like, we're not like this team of well, I mean, we're pretty good now, but historically, we're not this powerhouse team. We're scrappy. We've been fighting for years, so it's really fun.
But if you look at it, that's how the Patriots were.
Yeah. No, they had a good team. They had a really good system that they built up, and I recognize now that that's exactly what Andy's doing with the Chiefs.
The Patriots only had a great team the year that they had Moss and Gronk and Tom Brady on the same offense. Like, they didn't have, like, they're very similar to the Chiefs.
Yeah, when you look through the years, there was consistency, but there was also a lot of turnover with the Patriots. They made a lot of big business decisions and let some players go when they needed to save that money. I do have to say my favorite stat in preparation for this game. It was the same stat last time we played him, but that Andy Reid is the winningest coach of both teams. I love that. That's hilarious to me.
Now with Sirianni, if you give him 5 more seasons, I'd probably surpass Reid if he keeps doing what he's
Sirianni's
doing.
phenomenal. I hope they keep him for a long time because he is talented. He is a great coach. He's aggressive. He's great play caller. He's a lot of fun, and that team is dangerous with Saquon.
I hate his face.
I will say this. This feels like an even better team than the team when we played versus Jason Kelsey.
The biggest factor is Saquon.
Oh, for
100%.
sure. Their defense, though, too. Their defense
is the youngest defense they've had. Before that, they had seasoned players on their defense the last time.
They bring a lot of pressure. They've got a lot of movement. They're pretty good. So
their backfield is their weakest part. Well, not weakest, their youngest part.
Yeah. We thankfully have Spags. So Spags comes up with some of the best defensive schemes there's out there. So I'm not sure if we've talked about it yet, Bobby, but big news for you guys. Hiring a coach. I don't know if I don't know any Cowboys fans that are excited about it.
Well, you can't be excited about it because there's no name. The only name that comes to mind when you hear it is his dad's. Like, it's not even his name. That's
exactly what I was going to say. I was like, he at least comes from good stock. Hopefully, maybe we're taught.
You can't get excited about somebody who has only been an assistant.
Sure.
That's.
And for an offense that many would consider floundering compared to previous years.
I mean, we have the talent.
Yes.
We have the talent.
But it doesn't seem to be producing the results that everybody's looking for. And that's usually an indicator of coaching, not.
That's why I was hoping we got Kellen Moore. But, that fell through pretty quick.
Sorry, dude. Patriots fans have got to be excited, though. They got Vrabel. That's a big deal.
They got everybody but Belichick. and Matt Patricia. That's it. Like everybody else, I think they got.
Yep.
Because Vrabel got, I think he got the original offensive coordinator back, didn't he?
Yep.
The defensive coordinator? No, Matt Patricia was the defensive coordinator.
Yeah, Patricia was the defensive coordinator.
So that's the only person that they're missing is Matt Patricia, I think.
There you go, man.
And obviously Belichick.
Trying to become Patriots Dynasty 2.0.
He could do it.
Not, though. They've got to go through us. So.
Right, but Vrabel is a good coach.
Oh, Vrabel's so good. He's brilliant. And he's aggressive. So what have you been up to, man? Tell me about your past couple of weeks.
Past couple weeks? Well, we actually recorded less than 2 weeks ago. So since we recorded, had a recording with Bumping Chops with Johnny Faith that came out yesterday.
Ooh, cool.
And we talked since we had Remington on. So, But other than that, nothing exciting has happened.
No?
No, I gave Jamie her Valentine. I hate Valentine's Day. I think it's the dumbest, fakest holiday ever.
What'd you get her?
I got her a Stanley Cup, and then I was going to put stuff in it, but I just gave it to her. I'm going to give her a gift card to Starbucks.
There you go, man. Can't go wrong with that. Girls love their Starbucks.
So I just gave it. I was like, here.
I got Heather laptop.
She gonna hear this before?
Huh?
Has she already got it?
What?
Did she already get her gift?
No, I haven't given it to her yet.
I was going to say, this is coming out Friday.
That's okay. I know her. She's not going to watch this.
You never know.
But
no, other than that, nothing exciting.
Yeah.
But like February is weird. It's the shortest month, but it seems like it's the busiest month.
Yeah. I feel you.
You got essentially four holidays, like one fake holiday. St. Patrick. You got the Super Bowl, which should be a holiday.
I agree.
And then you have President's Day, and then you have Groundhog's Day.
What, you don't include Martin Luther King Day? You racist?
Martin Luther King Day is in January, bro.
Is it? Oh, it is. You're right.
Whoa.
And we're back. No kidding.
We'll be back after these messages.
Oh, gosh. We'll be back after I get reamed by our producer. We don't have a producer.
But I hate Valentine's Day. Like, I think it's the worst holiday ever. Like, if you could get rid of one fake holiday, Valentine's Day would be it.
I mean, I get it. Because, like, I'm a big believer in that. Like what we do on Valentine's Day should be practiced year round. Like the showing appreciation, the spending quality time together.
Right, like the whim stuff. Like that's the only thing I like to do on a whim.
Yeah.
I don't like to plan a trip like that day at all.
Yeah, making Valentine's Day like a holiday just kind of feels obligatory. And then it feels like the pressure's on. Like I would hate, and I remember it too. I hated Valentine's Day when I was single or dating because there's so much pressure on it. Now that we're married, it's just kind of like, oh, hey, what do you want to do for Valentine's Day? Oh, we'll make a nice meal or something at home and watch it.
I'm going to get my eyes checked.
That's such
Lobster.
an old man answer to what are you doing for Valentine's Day? I'm getting my eyes
Red Lobster.
I do like me some Red Lobster.
But there's nowhere else really that's like worth going to wait.
No, yeah, I agree. And now
I'll go wait for Red Lobster.
Down here, bro, there's so many places that we want to try. Oh, it's nuts. There's just like New York pizza and pasta that we're really excited to try. I think that's what we're going to do for Valentine's
New York
Day.
pizza and pasta.
Yeah. It's like it's like traditional New York style hand tossed pizza, and it smells amazing every time I walk in there. So I'm
What's the
excited.
name of it? You should always judge it by the name.
New York pizza. And
that's
pasta.
the name of it?
That's the name of it.
It's pretty generic. Like if it was going to be like something like, I don't know, something with a weird name like Mario's.
No, there's another place not far from there called Nunzio's Taste of Italy. Which
that sounds legit.
It's a pizza, but it's a pizza place too.
And it sounds legit
pizza
though.
And pasta is just kind of straightforward, but man, they make some good stuff. It smells fantastic.
Did Dave Portnoy do a pizza test on there?
I don't even know that Dave's ever been down in this area, man. He
lives in Florida.
should.
He lives
Does
in
he?
Florida.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, then he needs to come try it because this stuff's amazing.
I think his branch is actually in Florida, and then because he gets the tax break.
Yeah, makes sense.
But if you download the One Bite
Shepherd's pie.
I was never a fan of shepherd's pie. Like, it's not the taste. I think it's the consistency of it.
More for me then.
By all means, it's just shepherd's pie. Probably reminded me of my mom used to make this hamburger gravy over mashed potatoes, and I was like,
not your favorite.
Well, as a kid, I had a gag reflex like no other. Like, I had to drink as I ate my mashed potatoes.
Really? Texture was that rough for you, huh?
It was a consistent. Now I'm fine. Like goes down fine. But like when it was as a kid, like I would gag like every single time when I'd go to swallow it. So I'd have to drink it with milk.
In a world filled with imitations, there's one name that stands out above all the rest. Rage Beef Jerky, a small batch jerky company that sets the standard for what it means to be 100% grade A quality beef.
Rage Beef Jerky is the self-proclaimed world's best beef jerky. But just because it's self-proclaimed doesn't mean it's not true.
Rage Beef Jerky is made right here in the USA. It can be found in 5 states across 400 plus locations ranging from Kansas, Nebraska, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Arkansas.
But if you're not near those states, all you've got to do is visit www.ragebeefjerky.com, and you could choose from any of the 6 flavors that they got of jerky or beef sticks. They got both now. They're really good. The flavors are original, teriyaki, hot, cracked pepper, sweet, and spicy, or you can go with my all-time favorite, which is bacon jalapeno. Chef's kiss.
Rage Beef Jerky has given our listeners the opportunity to save 15% off their order. At checkout, use promo code CHUBBY, that's CHUBBY, and save 15% off your order. Don't let your taste buds suffer through any more mystery meat products. Visit www.ragebeefjerky.com and let your taste buds rage.
Get your jerky on. That's crazy. That would sit on my stomach so heavy. Potatoes and milk. Good Lord.
Oh, that's like the best. Well, that's all we got to drink as a kid was milk or water. I'm choosing milk.
I don't know.
Who wants to swallow potatoes with water?
I mean, I just eat my potatoes and then take a drink of water. I don't need to do it together.
Yeah, but I had to, physically get it down.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Speaking of food, like Super Bowl, what are you guys cooking?
We're doing our traditionals. So we're actually going over to a friend's house for like a big block party kind of thing. So we're taking little Smokies and barbecue sauce, peanuts and M&Ms. I don't know. That may be it. We may be keeping it simple because it's a big group thing.
I don't know why, but your mic still keeps cutting out now. Maybe it's because you keep moving away.
I don't think so, but
it just started doing it as you were talking about that. But you said little Smokies and barbecue sauce and peanuts.
Little Smokies and barbecue sauce. That's a staple. Peanuts and M&Ms. But
pigs in the
I think
blanket,
we're going to keep it simple because we're going to a big group thing. So
yeah, you don't need to bring like the kitchen.
Oh.
But one of my favorites.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're fine.
I was going to say, I'll tell you, I did just go over to a friend's house and take a cheese flight that I got from Costco. It was so good, man. It was like 5 different cheeses. And it's a mix of things, like some of it cow's milk, some of it like cow's milk, some of it sheep's milk. There was one, it was called a Tuscan rub fontal. I know that sounded dirty, but it wasn't, I promise.
A Tuscan rub fontal?
Tuscan rubbed fontal cheese, and it was so good.
How's fontal
probably going to go back and buy that. Fontal.
Wow.
Yeah.
Now, the Tuscan rub part was the dirty part. The fontal, like, I don't know, that sounds like a body part.
Well, a Tuscan rubbed it, and it was delicious.
As long as it wasn't a fontal Tuscan rub.
That's illegal. Although apparently down here in Florida, it's pretty prevalent because in the past 2 weeks, 4 different women have been arrested running illicit massage parlors.
In your area?
In my area, dude.
How many people live there?
Posts about it.
How many people live there?
I don't know the full.
Like Wichita. Think of Wichita.
Oh, it's bigger than Wichita.
Really?
Well,
Wichita's
no,
500,000?
That's not right. That's not right. Hang on. Collier County is 404,000.
So about the same size as Wichita.
About the same size as Wichita.
I mean,
but it's
were they
special.
okay? Were they of Asian descent?
Yes, they were. it's not just illicit massage; it's also sex trafficking. So obviously, there's a system that they're using that's using illegal immigrants, and it's keeping them under.
They got found out on the day that all the all the immigrants took the day off yesterday. I don't know if that happened down there.
It did not happen down here, as far as I know.
Yeah, Wichita, they had all the restaurants, it was national, national day without immigrants is what it was. So they closed restaurants and all that stuff. So, yeah. So that would be rough if that's how they got
how much we rely on their efforts.
Yeah. But also it goes to show you that even if they aren't of immigrant, if they're not immigrants, they're still for it, behind them.
Right. Absolutely.
But no, we were talking about Super Bowl foods, ones that I forgot all about. I love pigs in the blanket, but not with hot dogs. I always go the better cheddars in the pigs in the blanket.
Okay.
Bro,
okay.
Game changer.
That's an interesting choice. I don't hate it.
Chili Frito pies.
Yes.
And obviously wings. I'm going to eat wings.
Your wonderful cousin, walking taco.
Which is essentially the same thing. If you use Fritos.
Yep, it's basically
now, if you use Doritos.
I use Doritos, man. And
the Doritos make it the walking taco.
Mm-hmm.
The Fritos, that's a chili. If you put chili in it and cheese, that's a chili Frito pie. Let's be real. But it's just a plain bowl of chili. That's just a weird. If it's cold enough, I'll eat it.
Cold enough?
If it's cold enough outside, I'll eat it.
Oh, okay.
I don't like soup when it's hot out.
Bowl of chili. I was like, huh?
No. Now that's another weird thing that I don't know if you watched the newest episode of New Heights that they had last week. They had chili flavored ice cream. That's disgusting.
What?
Yeah.
Sounds like that's an Ohio thing, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, it's that company that makes that high-end ice cream where they make flavored ice cream. They're doing a chili flavored. I forgot the name of the company though. It's like
I will forever think that Skyline chili, which is
Skyline
chili on top of pasta.
It's Skyline flavored ice cream.
Skyline? Oh,
it's
gross.
Skyline flavored ice cream.
So let's be clear. It's not just chili flavored. That's chili and noodles flavored, because that's what Skyline chili is. It's chili on top of spaghetti noodles.
That's disgusting.
Yes, that face is accurate. That's also my response to Skyline
Graders
chili.
is the name of the brand of ice cream that's making it. And I think that's in Ohio, or it's sold in Kroger, but
an Ohio thing.
But it's Skyline flavored ice cream. Skyline chili flavored. Ugh.
Those weirdos from Ohio are pushing it on us.
You ain't lying. I mean, they do make some good stuff in Ohio. Like my wife, she makes this. What's that?
I said the Kelseys.
They
were made in Ohio.
Or were they?
Well, it's really, we should ask Mama Kelsey that one.
I would want to know. But no, like Jamie makes this white pizza. It's made with just like garlic. It's garlic butter as the sauce.
Ooh.
Mozzarella cheese and pepperoncinis. And it's just white pizza.
That sounds wonderful.
It's pretty good.
I would go to town.
Now, I don't know if that's a Ohio thing, but like she's from Ohio and she said that's where she had it.
She's from Ohio?
Jamie,
I don't think I knew that. I don't think I knew that.
Yeah, she was born in, she was from Youngstown. So, pretty rough part of Ohio. Well, it was back then.
Okay.
I don't know if it is now. It's like the worst part of that, like wherever area. I think that's like central Ohio, I think. We were an hour away from the NFL Hall of Fame when we went.
Oh, from Canton. Okay.
Yeah.
I've been to Canton.
Akron, and then if you go to Akron, and it's Akron Canton, I don't know why they do that. Doesn't make sense to me. But no, I was this close to reaching out to Little Debbie to try to find out how we get put on their list to be able to try their new shit, because there's one Little Debbie thing that's coming out like at the end of this month that I'm a little like excited about. Have you
What
seen
is it? Tell me. I don't think I've seen it.
The Nutty Buddy cream pie.
I have seen that, and it like okay.
I don't like moon pies.
Interesting. My only concern is that wafer crunch of a Nutty Buddy is
it's
like
a soft bake. It's a soft bake.
But that's my point. The wafer crunch is like half of what makes a Nutty Buddy so good. So if you take that away, I'm concerned that this thing is not going to be nearly as good.
I bet you it's going to be great.
I mean, I'm going to try it. Don't get me wrong. I'm still a chubby buddy. I'm still fat. So, but
I don't like, what are those called? Moon pies? I don't like moon pies. And that's what it looks like. Cause I don't like marshmallows that much.
I don't blame you.
I think the s'more is the most overrated snack on the planet.
Man,
it's inconvenient. It's the most messiest.
I can't agree with that. I've been around a fire making s'mores way too many times. It takes some work to stay clean.
That's what I'm saying. It's inconvenient, and I've never been like, ooh, I'm feeling like a s'more right now, ever.
Oh, I have.
Even by fire.
No. Oh, man, no. I crave them when I'm sitting by fire. Those and hot dogs. I can do hot dogs and s'mores all day long sitting around a fire.
I don't like hot dogs or s'mores, so more for you.
Man, you are missing out.
I've had them. They're just not
the only part of camping that I enjoy is the food.
Oh, right, but there's other foods that you can eat. Like I just don't like s'mores. I think s'mores they're too messy, first of all. Like way too messy. And I don't like marshmallows, but like plus you could burn your face off. Like I just don't understand why that is a camping thing. Just because the fire thing.
You're getting that wonderful vision of Dennis the Menace, aren't you? Just him swinging that marshmallow back and forth, and then it goes.
Oh yeah. And then where does it land?
I think it lands on top of his head or something like that. I thought
it lands in his mouth. It went right into his mouth.
No, it lands on the old neighbor's head or something like that.
Mr. Wilson?
Yeah.
I thought it lands in his mouth.
Maybe. It's been so long since I've seen that movie.
I don't know.
Gosh.
It was a good movie though.
Yeah, yeah.
Old movie.
Classic. Gosh, I know. All of our stuff is old. I think I've mentioned this on here before, but I've been showing Casey old Jim Carrey movies, and he loves them. He absolutely loves them. Jim Carrey, I think, is going to be his favorite, like, actor from our generation.
I can't think of one that I dislike more than Cable Guy. I did not like Cable Guy.
Cable Guy's a weird one. It's supposed to be a dark comedy, but
it was more. It was almost like.
I wonder.
Maybe
just throw
like,
this
I
out
Love
there.
You, Man.
I wonder if we were too young to appreciate it when we watched it.
I rewatched it less than
I was
2
gonna
years
say,
ago.
Have you watched it recently?
Yeah, and I was still like, eh.
I have too, and I don't disagree, but I would say that I understand some of the humor more because it's about awkward relationships.
Right, and that's why I thought it was like I Love You, Man, or Yes, Man, or
Absolutely.
But I Love You, Man, I liked, and I also liked Yes, Man.
I liked Yes Man. I Love You Man was good. It wasn't my favorite.
But I think the relationship was forced between the two people, so that's a little bit different.
Okay.
The Cable Guy was like he turned into a creep.
Yes. Yeah.
And isn't that is that a Farrelly Brothers? Is that a Farrelly movie or is that a Coen brother?
I don't know. Oh, it's not a Coen brother.
Well, no, I think Coen Brothers made like a few comedies. I just didn't know if that one was one of them. And they weren't even comedies; they were like dark comedies. It might be is it Farley or Farrelly brother?
Fairly, I think.
Cable Guy director Ben Stiller. Wow, not would have ever guessed that.
I wouldn't have guessed that either. That's wild.
And it was written by Lou Holtz Jr. The Cable Guy. That's wild.
That's very wild.
He's just the director, and I just don't see that out of Ben Stiller, especially when you put Tropic Thunder next to it. Like nothing.
Yeah, Stiller's had some really good ones, but apparently he's had some weird ones too.
Well, let's be real. Zoolander was different.
Zoolander was. Here's the problem. Zoolander 2. Zoolander did not need a sequel. It's weird but cultishly funny. Zoolander 2 just makes it useless.
And if you look at it like Ben Stiller, Will Ferrell has not had many sequels to his movies except for Zoolander.
That's true.
And the ones that, and I guess Anchorman, and I still to this day have not seen Anchorman 2.
Really? It's not as
yet.
good. It's not as good, I'll admit that. But did you know that there was so much cut out of Anchorman that they made a second movie? Like of all the there was a whole B-reel plot where they were gonna like stop terrorists or something like that. And so there's a whole like the story untold.
I think with Will Ferrell, you kind of have all that with anything he's making. Like you have, like, I don't know why we're getting right into entertainment, which is fine. I just got done watching the movie Saturday Night about the first day of awesome. Like if you like Saturday Night Live, then you'll appreciate this movie.
I appreciate it. I've watched it through the years and have liked the actors. Does it give tribute to some of the ones that died? Like
this one, what it actually is like Saturday Night is literally about like the very first live episode of Saturday Night Live.
It's not a documentary on it. It's
it's not a documentary. Like it's the legitimate, like it gives
like
you
that. It's kind of like that behind the scenes show you had me watch about oh come on,
The Godfather.
Yes, The Godfather.
Sort of, but not as like in The Godfather. They go in some pretty deep rabbit holes. But like this is like this is the fast paced point of view of Lorne Michaels. Like it's him prepping for it, finding the right people for it, choosing the sets, choosing what he's going to put on the air, and then it comes. Yeah, and how he chooses it, like how I pretty much the brains behind the what we know today as Saturday Night Live and what he had to go through. So it's pretty cool.
Was the cast pretty good for it?
Oh, yeah, dude. Like the guy that they got to play Chevy Chase was impressive.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, Lorne
Good.
Michaels, like I don't know much about him personally. Like I've seen him like in interviews, but I don't know enough about him to be like, oh, his character was great. But Lorne Michaels,
you do know it was pretty clear that they cast.
And they've got like they got Billy Crystal. They've somebody playing Billy Crystal, George Carlin, all these other like all the OGs of Saturday Night Live. Like, and some of those guys are like, what? I had no idea that he was even on Saturday Night Live. Like George Carlin, I didn't know.
Really?
Or Billy Crystal. But after I watched that movie, I went back and watched the Peacock's like docu-series of the 50 years of Saturday Night Live.
That's what I thought you were referring to at first.
Yeah, I went back and watched that, and it's awesome.
Is it pretty good? Good.
Guess what is their number one, the all-time favorite SNL skit? What do you think it would be?
It's got to be Cowbell.
Dude. But they have one whole episode dedicated to Cowbell.
Of course
and it is insane on what they had to go through to get this thing put on the air.
That's funny.
It was awesome.
What's your personal favorite skit?
Personal favorite. I mean, Brian Fellows is an all-time favorite.
Fellows.
And I don't know if it's even necessarily because of who's playing it or if it was like, I mean, it's stupid comedy no matter what skit you look at. But you can't argue Will Ferrell had a lot of great like skits.
Oh yeah.
His Harry Carey impersonation, I wouldn't say Cowbell's number one, but I would have to go with trying to think of the one that they had. Even Travis Kelce's Saturday Night Live was pretty awesome.
I was very impressed with how Travis did on there.
But I'm going to have to go with Adam Sandler, David Spade, and Chris Farley, the Cafeteria Girls or Cafeteria Gals.
Nice.
That's probably one of my favorites.
It's a good one. I will forever be infatuated with Celebrity Jeopardy.
What?
Whole Celebrity Jeopardy.
Oh yeah, and they redo that time after time.
Oh my gosh,
Who is the original?
So the original was Burt Reynolds. It was originally Burt Reynolds. Wow. They didn't even have Sean Connery in the first one, but then Sean Connery is in it after that, and oh my gosh, just him versus Trebek is so good. Like I die laughing every time, and then all the different categories, like. So
who's the dude that played he was like a pathological liar. He was in Benchwarmers. He had the catchphrase, what was that catchphrase? He's the one that drives the expensive car in Benchwarmers, and like he's showing them how bad his titty twisters were growing up and how red they were. Who was that?
I cannot place it.
You remember Benchwarmers, right?
Oh yeah, yeah. Benchwarmers was hilarious. I'm trying to remember. It was John. It was a dude from.
It was.
Oh gosh, what's his name? That had
John Lovitz.
Oh, John Lovitz, yeah.
John Lovitz. He had this character in SNL where he played like almost like a liar or some sort, where he was like lying about who his wife was, and like he had. Like those were pretty good too.
Yeah.
But the ones that were made into movies are like Wayne's World. Like you can't deny those. Like those are undeniably just as good, if not better than Cowbell, because they had movies, even sequels afterwards, I think. Cowbell was funny. Don't get me wrong.
I know it was ridiculous, but Night at the Roxbury.
Of course.
I freaking laughed so hard at that. I loved Night at the Roxbury.
Will Ferrell has made, I think, just as many, like, I could argue that Anchorman was probably one of his bits that he had for SNL.
Oh, I'm sure.
So Anchorman, The Ladies Man, that was another one.
Yep, Tim Meadows. That was a good one.
Dude, like you could go on and on about all these ones that had movies.
Like good as in like, oh, these are elite cinema. No, it's like it's stupid comedy because it's from a sketch show. But to build it out into a movie and keep people laughing, freaking great. So good.
But without Cowbell, if you take away Christopher Walken, you don't have that skit. Like that skit was
absolutely. and his commitment to it. I mean, the fact that
Dude,
it's
do you know how much of that was improv on his part?
no, how much?
95% of it is what he said. He said he told him he wants him to be like if a music producer was to try to pump up a group of people singing music or whatever, like that's what he wants you to be. And like that's where he came up with.
Oh
He
my
said
gosh,
he came up with the catchphrase. He's like, I got a fever, and the only prescription is more cowbell. And like they all start laughing, and they're like,
That
where
line,
did that come from?
That line, man. I've
I
said
got a
that
fever.
line so many times in any context. It does not matter.
Do you know how many cowbells they sold because of that skit? They put them on a map. They put, dude, at the is it Mississippi? Yeah, Mississippi State. That's their intro before the game. Is I need a little bit, or he goes, I got a fever, and the only prescription is a little more cowbell, and the whole crowd is shaking their cowbells.
That's so epic.
And one company made that one cowbell from that skit, and they blew up.
Culture's so weird. I love it.
Yeah. But I also never would have like bought a cowbell like for no reason. Like I'm glad none of my teams that I enjoyed like have a cowbell associated with them.
That's kind of surprising because the Cowboys, it kind of does make sense to use cowbells.
If the cowboy used it, it would be like the wife or whoever's preparing dinner would be the cow, or that would be the triangle.
I was gonna say, I thought the bell was to let you know where the cattle were.
I'm sure it is, but like, is that for? I thought the cowbell was a little bit more different.
I don't think so. I'm pretty sure they hang it around the neck of the cow to make sure they know where the cow is.
Yeah, I don't know. Because you're hurting numerous cattle. Like, is that like for one cow that's like always disappearing or something?
Maybe.
Because that's a lot of damn cowbells.
Either that or whoever the lead cow is. Because they still form into like packs.
That'd be a bull then, right?
Not necessarily.
Or a longhorn or something.
Because you usually would keep the males and the females apart.
Yeah, if they're not mating, for sure.
Yep.
But yeah, I 100% think that you would, if you appreciated Saturday Night Live as a whole, like what we got out of it, then you'll love the movie Saturday Night.
If you guys like Saturday Night Live, you should totally tell us what your favorite skit is.
For sure.
I will say, in the modern era, Colin Jost and Michael Che and their joke swapping is grade A comedy.
Which one's that?
So Colin Jost and Michael Che do the Weekend Update.
Oh yeah. And he also does the pop culture Jeopardy.
Yeah, they swap jokes. And Michael writes jokes for Colin that he doesn't get to see before he says them, and Colin writes jokes for Michael that he doesn't get to see before he says them. And it is comedy gold. It is so hilarious. It's so awkward and uncomfortable. And these guys go after each other. I mean, you would think that they are enemies because of how cruel they write these jokes. But it's
take that back. I know what my favorite skit was that made me laugh the hardest.
Okay.
Chris Kattan and Will Ferrell, the monkey in the cage, and the Will Ferrell plays the scientist that's trying to give him a shot. Do you remember that skit? Dude, the dude shows him how to get the attention of the monkey who was played by Chris Kattan, and he's like doing this, and he gets his attention. And he's like, see, that's how you do it. I forgot who played that guy. But Chris Kattan jumps on Will Ferrell's face and starts, it looks like he's going to bite his face, but he like holds his mouth on his face and just blows.
So uncomfortable. I love Chris Kattan.
He's underrated. He's underrated.
Credit. Yeah, he does not get nearly enough credit. And I will fight to the death that
Mr. Peepers and Papa Peepers was the name of the skit.
What is that movie that he did? He was part of the mob, but
yeah,
he was
do you want to buy you some cookies?
Yes. You guys like to buy some cookies? Shit. And I'm blanking on the name of it, but I will defend the stupidity of that comedy because it was so good.
The guy that plays the scientist showing Will Ferrell how to get the attention is Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey plays the scientist, and he's doing that.
I think I remember that now.
That was It wasn't Master of Disguise. I don't know why I want to go with Master of Disguise because he's like, why are you dressed up like a chick? He goes, I got a disguise on.
What is the name of that movie? Gosh.
It was Corky Romano. Corky Romano.
Corky Romano.
Corky Romano.
Part of the Romano crime family.
When the dog and him get a hold of that bag of cocaine, it is priceless.
Dude, you have a question? You do. You don't? You do.
You do?
You don't?
I should buy a boat.
You don't? You do. I should buy a boat.
And then how could I forget Chris Farley's inspirational speaker? Like,
yes,
that
Matt Foley,
me up.
for sure. For sure.
I mean,
also, you got to throw in Chris Farley's Chippendales audition.
Chunkendales, yep, with Patrick Swayze.
With Patrick Swayze. That one's hilarious.
And then the lunch lady was awesome. Let's not forget that one. So, like, there's so many that I could say is my favorite above Cowbell, but Cowbell was great because of, like, who was a part of it.
It's iconic. There's no question it's iconic. But there are so many good SNL skits. Tell us what your favorite is. There's obviously still plenty of good ones.
But the little stories behind the Cowbell, like how they mixed up all the band members of Blue Oyster Cult on accident to only find out afterwards.
That's great.
And the cowbell was never supposed to be heard in the song. And they were like, how did you figure out that there was cowbell on that? Because the cowbell was so indistinct in the original song. He was like, I was just sitting there tapping it. Like, you couldn't even hear it in the original recording.
That's funny.
So that was pretty dope. So I highly suggest watching that.
It's great. Well, speaking of watching stuff, and anything else that you've been watching?
Tom Hanks's movie Here. It's on Netflix. It's pretty good if you enjoy, like, I mean, everybody enjoys a good like Castaway type movie.
Yeah.
But the only difference is like this is a one shot in the entire movie, and it like pretty much takes you through the history of the all these different people that lived in this one house.
Interesting.
I enjoyed it just for the simple fact that I mean, obviously it's Tom Hanks, but also the girl that played Jenny from Forrest Gump is also his wife in this movie. It's pretty good. That's
cool.
I took it for what it was. Is it a great movie? No.
That do challenging things like that to hold one frame shots and
Tom Hanks is a beast at that.
He's a once in a generation talent. It's ridiculous.
His son is Colin Farrell is just as good. Let's not deny him, but he could play a psychopath.
Colin Hanks? Yeah.
Colin Hanks is so good.
He's I don't know if you've been watching it, but he's in oh gosh, really? The Boys. And it's
that's where I stopped was when he first actually came in. So I haven't I haven't caught back up yet.
Yeah. He's in The Boys and it's really good.
Well, when he played like in Dexter, he was a great addition to Dexter, I thought.
Yep.
And then you got him in he's in what was it? Mad Men. He plays a priest in Mad Men, which is kind of weird, but
interesting.
And then you got he's actually in this movie with Meg Ryan. So Meg Ryan plays his mom in this movie, and like it's my mom's new boyfriend. I think it's on Amazon Prime. Weird. And he plays a FBI agent, and then Antonio Banderas plays this thief that his mom falls in love with.
No.
Yeah, it's okay for what it was. I mean, they tried to do a Harry Met Sally type vibe to it without being able to.
That is not Colin Hanks and The Boys.
I thought it was Colin Hanks.
No. It is.
Well, what show was I watching that had Colin Hanks in it?
Jack Quaid.
Jack Quaid. Oh, really?
Yep. Randy Quaid's kid. Yeah, Jack Quaid's the lead in The Boys.
That's another one that I had no idea was on SNL was Randy Quaid.
Randy Quaid was in SNL? I didn't know that either.
He was a big timer too. Like,
wow.
Like during this weird, I guess, time period, you had Randy Quaid.
Was he in Junior. With like John Belushi in them?
No, but way after John Belushi. Like John Belushi's character in this movie though is played perfectly by this guy. Like the whole like the emotional distress that you see is really awesome.
Interesting.
Robert Downey Jr., the dude from Breakfast Club, the nerdy one.
Oh, John Cryer.
Yep. No, not John Cryer. From Breakfast Club. John Cryer is from Pretty in Pink.
Candles. No, Pretty in Pink. Yep.
16 Candles. He was the guy's also from 16 Candles too.
Yeah.
But Pretty in Pink is Ducky with John
Yeah,
Cryer.
he's Ducky. Yeah.
But the guy, the nerdy guy from Breakfast Club that has the fake ID so he can vote.
Oh gosh, I can't
Him,
remember.
but him and pretty much, it's not necessarily the Rat Pack, but it's like a few of those guys were in SNL that I had no idea.
Interesting.
But yeah, Randy Quaid, never would have guessed it.
I would not have guessed that either. Props to him.
But no, I actually thought Colin Hanks was in The Boys also. I don't know why.
I don't. Maybe he's got a cameo in it. I can't remember, but I was thinking of Jack Quaid. So that's on me.
Colin Hanks, The Boys, actor, director, producer, and voice actor, who is the son of... Who cares? I already know that. Didn't show.
Nope.
But yeah. Anyway, other than that, Hero was awesome. I guess we're just getting done with entertainment so we can just get through sports.
Sounds good.
Did you have anything else you were watching?
Gosh. We picked back up Resident Alien. I don't know if you've heard of that. It's Alan Tudyk.
Oh, that's on Netflix, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, I
And he
haven't seen
plays basically a crashed alien who is taking on the disguise of a doctor. And so he's this tiny little town in Colorado. He's their doctor. And he's trying to figure out how to get to a ship and get out of there. But like, it's just chaos. And there's a little boy in town that can see him for who he really is. And so the kid's just making all kinds of trouble for him. It's pretty funny. His sense of humor is very, oh gosh, what's the best way to describe it? It's very quirky. And so he plays the character almost like an autistic person who doesn't understand the world that they're in. And it's really funny. Like his mannerisms, the way he speaks, the sounds that he makes, the gestures that he makes, it's all just solid gold.
I mean, Robin Williams did that too with Mork and Mindy.
Yeah, I would say similar to what you saw with Mork and Mindy. But even I would say even a little more like done
Rain
up.
Man. Huh?
Yeah, even more done up, like more dramatic, if that makes sense. Dramatic and like kind of jerkish. Because he says a lot of things that like people wouldn't say, but it's because he has no filter and he doesn't understand social norms. So it's really hilarious.
Well, because he's an alien.
Yep. But we've been watching that.
Has your mom finished Dexter yet?
She has. She is now on New Blood.
Oh,
And
man.
she likes it. Man, she
likes the New Blood?
She likes all of it. She hated the ending of Dexter. But she was able to go straight into New Blood, so it was short-lived.
Yeah, she didn't have to wait the 8+ years that
Exactly.
all the real fans had to wait.
Exactly. So, but no, she really enjoys it. They've picked up now Yellowstone and
I'm impressed with how Yellowstone. I haven't gotten to watch the second half of Yellowstone, so everybody's been talking about it, and I've seen nothing but shorts and Instagram reels about all the pretty much all the spoilers are all on YouTube. It's like, really? Great. Now I don't want to watch it.
We've been watching is we finished up season 2 of The Night Agent.
I think I have to go back and watch season 1 to get back into season 2 because I got lost.
That's fair.
Episode 3 in, I was like, oh man. Season 1 was awesome, but yeah. I was like,
season 2 is not bad. It builds on the story a little bit with it's not tied to the first season much, but it does a lot more character development in the second one. So it can get a little drawn out at times, but it's still pretty good.
Maybe that's why I felt I think after episode 2 or 3 is where I was kind of like, man, what did I just watch? I think I've got to go back and kind of rewatch it.
That's fair. And early on, the story isn't as clear and linear as it should be because, episode 1, you see something go down. Episode 2, there's characters in it that die in episode 1. So you're like, wait, what the heck? And it's because it's a
right,
flashback
and
shot.
it doesn't show the flashback happening.
It doesn't clarify that it's a flashback shot, but it absolutely is. So if they did a little labeling, it would probably help.
Yeah, like, well, at the very beginning, in episode 1, in episode 1, they did do that before his partner at the very beginning gets shot. Mm-hmm. They did do that because it says whatever present day or whatever it is, and then we see her get shot, and then it was 10 months earlier was after that on episode 1.
Okay.
And then after that is where I was kind of like, I'm lost because why is the one chick reaching out? Because we all assumed that they were still together. Like after season 1, I was like,
that was a little weird, but they do kind of go their separate ways, and then I would say season 2 is really her glow up is kind of the point. It's to show her capabilities.
At first, I thought they were trying to change characters. I was like, you can't do that with this, because I thought that they had what's her face in there.
They're definitely trying to make the show about both of them instead of just him.
I was like, you can't put the chick from Pitch Perfect in there as her character because she doesn't even look the same.
And that's remotely what's nuts. Brittany Snow is in that show, and she's only in it for just a little bit. It's crazy.
I guess, like the flashbacks is the only thing that she's really in it a lot, and it's like, why? Like, I haven't learned anything yet. And that's why I was like, maybe I got to go back and rewatch.
Yeah, I would.
But no, other than that, I haven't watched anything new. Trying to think of other stuff that was coming out, like. The big thing that's coming out that I want to see. I still watch Gladiator 2 and I need to.
Oh, Gladiator 2 was really well done. Really well done.
Can it even be compared to the first one?
It is a full-fledged, in the same spirit sequel.
Okay.
I wouldn't just compare it. I would say it is a beautiful addition to the original story.
Well... but it's also probably not as long, though, right?
No, it's still pretty long. It may not have clocked in at what original one's like 3 hours, isn't it? This one clocked in, I think, at like 2:30 or 2:40.
See, that's the thing. Like when I think of the time, like I think of Braveheart every time I think of Gladiator. Like I think because Braveheart was like almost 4 hours long, and I think Gladiator might have been 2.5.
Maybe, yeah. Well, this one's every bit as long then, but it's good. It's very good.
Yeah, I'll have to check. It's on my queue to watch, so that'll be my next thing that I'll watch. But I keep getting sidetracked with all these damn TV shows. Dexter, like, I'm not skipping that.
Yep.
So
what else are you watching?
I'm over 80% done with the Person of Interest, but it's almost the same story every episode, so it's starting to drag on. Almost like Lost.
I was just getting ready to ask, does that ever really develop beyond like an episode of the week kind of show? Like, does
it has like to be continued type. Yeah, it has to be yeah, the whole thing is like it's almost like what's that show? Have you ever seen The Blacklist?
Yeah. I like The Blacklist.
I love The Blacklist. Thing is The Blacklist, but only in like every episode is still the goal of reaching to the people that are hiding things in the government on the blacklist, right?
Okay.
What do they call that?
Yeah.
What was it that they were calling it? I forgot what it was called. But they had a name for it. But like this is like the whole thing is the machine. People are trying to get after the machine and alter it to where it can't and to where it's not going to end up in the wrong hands. And the whole idea is that it can't be used against us as a society. And but like the whole like story plot, like with Lost, like why I was mad is, but I was like, how does this dude have 2 shows where like it's never going to end?
That's hilarious.
Like the main guy, the guy that plays the Lost guy that
plays the bad guy in Lost. Yep.
Yeah. And this one, it's like he plays the good guy, but like this dude's not getting nowhere. It's like, whoa. But it's good. It's good for what it is, though.
Good.
It's kind of weird. Lori Loughlin's in it.
Hey, would you hate me if I asked us to take a little 5-minute break?
No, you're fine.
All right. Let's take a 5-minute break real quick.
Okay.
All right, I'll be right back. Gotta love getting old, man.
Well, that's because you don't have a part of your body. Yeah, I'm not that old yet.
No gallbladder leads to 2 bowls of shepherd's pie going through you pretty quick.
Although I do, however, have to remind myself to go pee before I go outside when it's cold.
That's hilarious. Do you tinkle in your pants if you don't?
Well, no, I just kick myself and I'm like, damn, I should have peed because I got to really go now.
I gotta go now. Do we need to sync back up so you can cut it out?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't ever stop it. I'll just cut the words.
Well, that's what I was saying. I just figured you'd cut it. I didn't know if we needed to give you a little point.
Nope.
All right, cool.
I'll do that on here. It'll be pretty simple.
Nice.
But speaking of, before we move off from entertainment, hey, have you been keeping up with this Adam Ray character?
Adam Ray.
Adam Ray. He does this. He has it's Adam Ray live as Dr. Phil, dude.
Oh, with Tony Hinchcliffe.
That's just one of them. He started off by himself doing this whole thing about.
I've seen him on with Tony Hinchcliffe when they do their.
He has a Netflix special. It's Adam Ray as Dr. Phil with Dr. Phil. It's awesome,
really, okay.
Dude. And he sounds just like him.
Oh, I love it. Just the little bit that I've seen him with Tony, it's like he's hilarious. He does it really, really well.
Oh, he sounds just like him. That's what's crazy.
I watched the newest Gabriel Iglesias special.
Step-by-step guide to turning your franchise around.
Dude.
That's so great.
Yeah, I watched the Gabriel Iglesias one too, and I was not as happy as I thought it was going to be. It was good.
It was good, but it was a coast comedy.
And it was a longer special.
It was a longer special, and it wasn't bad. It just he coasted through it. It was very rhythmic. He had he knew what he was doing. But
and most good great comedians do know what they're doing, especially when they don't do it live like he normally does. Like Joe Rogan's was live on Netflix. We all watched it live. Like he worked on his bits like outside in the bubbles,
but it was
then
still live when he delivered it. Yeah,
and he only recorded once. That's what's impressive.
That is impressive.
But no, Adam Ray. I was just asking because it popped up on my thing. Is Adam Ray with
as Dr. Phil
Shane Gillis with Shane Gillis is, but he also does Joe Biden. He also has Adam Ray as Joe Biden.
That's great.
On Tony Hinchcliffe's Kill Tony, it's Joe Biden and Donald Trump, which is Shane Gillis. And Shane Gillis as Donald Trump is impeccable.
Yes, Kill Tony is like I need to watch more of it, but it's pretty dang funny.
I mean, the way that people have came out of there is pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Like just the big time comedians that we don't know of, they're going to be big if they've ever done there.
And I don't know if you've seen him, but he was on Kill Tony. His name's Aaron Belial, and he's the comedian who's a mute who can't talk.
Yeah, and he uses his phone to talk.
He's hilarious, dude. He is quick witted.
The episode with him and Shane Gillis on Kill Tony was awesome.
So good.
He's what kind of shit you got to tell me now, huh?
You were as a comedian, you were my hero until I found out you weren't actually retarded. I was like, no.
Shane Gillis, right now, Shane Gillis is in my Mount Rushmore of people today. So I'm going by generation. So before me, I don't think it's okay for me to say this person was great, even though I love George Carlin. He just didn't perform enough for me as a kid growing up. Then for me, it's going to be Robin Williams, just because I love his stuff. Dave Chappelle's on that Mount Rushmore.
You wore out that disc you have of him live on Broadway.
That's back when VHS was 2000. That's when that came out. And then, I mean, Shane Gillis for me, just because I appreciate everything that he does and he's very specific on how he delivers it. His mannerisms and his verbal cues are just, if you don't have those, you don't have a Shane Gillis.
So finish it off for us. You got Shane Gillis, you've got Robin Williams,
it's George Carlin, Robin Williams, just for people that I was able to see. So before that, I had to take one off because of some allegations. I mean, if you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, then I guess, you're beat. But Robin Williams, Dave Chappelle has got to be on that list. And as of right now, it's going to be Shane Gillis, just because for the simple fact of how I resonate with him.
Yep. I get it. I would agree with Robin Williams. I definitely agree with
Dave Dave
Oh
Chappelle.
gosh, Dave Chappelle.
Nate
I would
Bargatze's
throw-
hard not to put
I was
on
gonna
there
say,
too.
I would
but
throw Nate Bargatze in there for me. Just his delivery is so funny.
no, they could have their
Love
own
his
Mount
deadpan
Rushmore
delivery.
too of just clean comedy. So you could have Jim
No.
Gaffigan
Yep.
and all
And
these
there's,
people
I
on
was
there
going to say,
separate.
there's some great honorable mentions there that we've loved for years, like Jim Gaffigan, Brian Reagan. I know it sounds silly, but I think the other one I'd have to throw in there is, and it's not so much his stand up, but I listened to him so much as a kid. Dad used to have his tapes and his CDs, and we'd listen to him on the road.
Ray Stevens.
No, I do love me some Ray Stevens, but Jeff Foxworthy. Jeff Foxworthy's You Might Be a Redneck If, man, that was so gold. And I listened to that, like every version of that. Anytime there'd be a new CD out, I'd ask Dad to let us get it when we were at the truck stop. And just be like, Dad, can we get that so we can listen to it?
Yeah, they're
And we
awesome.
did.
I mean, but I also got, I just don't think that like a lot of people don't listen to that stuff either. And I think that's probably why they didn't get Blue Collar Comedy Tour was their rise to shine.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely agree. But I would say Blue Collar Comedy Tour wouldn't have been able to happen without first Foxworthy and Bill Engvall's success. I think
Ron White's been around since the 70s, bro.
Has he? Oh,
yeah.
I wasn't.
That's what I'm saying. Nobody was watching
until
right, and he was a traveling comic that would only travel in the South because he got picked up by Foxworthy. It went Foxworthy, Engvall, Ron White, and like I can't compare Larry the Cable Guy because like come to find out like he didn't have that accent, so it's not funny.
No, it's a character. It's totally a character,
right. And that's fine.
It's
but like
great character, but
right.
it's weird when you find out that that's not him.
It's like, wait a minute, you sound different.
You can use correct English words. What?
You bathe every day? But no, and no shot at him. Like it's hilarious comedy.
Oh,
like,
it's a great character.
For me, like I would say out of that group, it goes Bill Engvall, Ron White, Jeff Foxworthy, Larry the Cable Guy.
Oh, see, I would have Foxworthy at the top, Engvall underneath.
I can't.
Probably Larry the Cable Guy there. And Ron White just never really hit home with me.
I loved Ron White. Ron White, today's Ron White is
loved Ron White more than I ever did.
I think it's because I love dirty comedy. And probably because I find it like, it's like farts for me.
Bobby, how are we going to leave his name off the list then?
Whose?
Rodney Carrington.
Rodney Carrington was great, but this is the only reason why I'm not counting it. He's not around anymore. Like I don't see him on specials anymore.
That's fair.
Rodney Carrington was
he was
a
hilarious.
great comic.
We used to listen to him so much.
But after his divorce, he fell off. He fell off. Like I mean, you just don't hear about him anymore. He does do like casinos in Kansas, but like other than that, I just don't. I loved his comedy.
Yep. Same.
I would put him up there, but like as of right now, Shane Gillis has got that spot for me. Like right now.
I would throw it in honorable mention. I would throw Chris Rock in there. Every time I've watched Chris Rock specials,
I like his older stuff.
I was just going to say his older stuff was a bit more. But
he falls under the Dave Chappelle generation for me. For me, he falls under Dave Chappelle generation, but I think Dave Chappelle takes it because he's still, I don't know, he's still relevant in my opinion.
I agree.
Like,
and Dave
Chris
Chappelle,
Rock is still relevant.
His delivery, man, is brilliant. He's an intelligent comic.
I disrespected Dane Cook, and I would love to take that back because I appreciate what he's done more for comedy. So the only thing I didn't like is that I think I got too many Jim Carrey vibes from him. Like he was almost trying to be too much like Jim Carrey. But now that I see what he's done.
Well, and I think Dane Cook's career took that hit because of his brother screwing him out of all of his money. But I feel like Dane Cook would have continued to be successful.
Dane Cook is still successful.
I was going to say he's still doing it. But
like he started on MySpace.
He could have had.
He's the one that made comedy on the internet. He put comedy on the internet.
I'd agree with that.
But I mean, I've got a little bit more respect for him.
You throw in there?
Oh, I could throw up probably 100. I mean,
I know.
Nikki Glazer is arguably one of the best comics of our generation.
Let's absolutely give Nikki her props. She's been good for years, but she's really coming into it now. Like she is making the most of it and just killing it. So I hope she keeps it up.
And I
She's
can't
funny,
deny
man.
Tony
She's very
Hinchcliffe.
witty.
Tony Hinchcliffe is, man, he's on another
Another
level
good-
of being
another
able to
good
roast
young
people.
up-and-comer, for sure.
And he's been around longer than half the ones we mentioned. Like,
Crazy.
yeah, he's been around since, I would say probably 2006 is when he first started. So, but no, there's a ton of them. Billingville should be on that list somewhere also, but like he retired. And the people that beat him out or would be somebody probably with Dave Chappelle's caliber.
Yep.
Or even
A lot of good comedians out there. There really are.
actually take that back. Robin Williams is probably on that level to take out Billingville.
Yep.
But there's so many good comedians. It's hard to narrow one down. But my favorite of all time is still Robin Williams.
Good.
Well, hey, bud, why don't we talk about HGW, then we'll get right into the big game this weekend.
Let's do it, man.
So HGW, did you watch it live?
I did not get to watch it live. I've gotten to watch some of the highlights. It was a pretty exciting show, man.
Exciting's one way to put it. I mean, it was wild.
What's
wild.
What stood out to you the most? Being there in person?
like which part? Like the fans, I mean, like the room was so divided. There was no, like, you know how ACFC is probably one of the most popular. Not this show. It was 50-50.
That's crazy.
Only Friends versus ACFC.
And it
like
was just
nobody in that room probably had their voice the next day.
That's awesome.
Remington Roar versus King Carter was a banger, even though they got delayed by a fire alarm that was like a 30-45 minute delay.
Whoa. Somebody pull an alarm, or was there an issue?
The rumor is that Dickie did it, but I don't know.
Oh, Dickie. That Dickie Richards, man. Always trying to pull something.
They pulled the fire alarm, or the fire alarm was pulled right after Chance Kerrigan's match. And then the Seventh Seal came out and beat the crap out of him. But that all happened after Mindy Grace got bloodbathed by Blade. Like,
nuts.
It was wild. Like, it was mayhem from start to finish.
Not surprising, though. It's not surprising at all that if Blade's going to go after Chance, he's going to go after him in every way possible. Yep, make it very personal.
But it was mayhem from start to finish. There was like 3 DQs in the whole show. There's like 9 total matches, so 3 DQs is a quarter of the show. So
that's crazy. It's a third.
But, huh?
I said it's a third. Okay. 3 out of 9's a third. You silly.
Whatever. But anyways, what other matches stood out? Trying to think of anybody else that was. Oh, the Ray Leon getting pulled of his title was wild.
Yeah, that's nuts.
And your new HCW Heartland champion is Paradox.
Crazy.
Dickie tried to pay him off.
How much trash do you think is going to get talked now towards Paradox?
None, dude. That place popped when he won.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
That place got loud. Like, Dickie tried paying him off in the ring, and first Paradox dove out of the ring to attack Dickie. Did a full jump through the ropes, probably a good 12 feet.
Damn.
Out into dove after him, hit him, came back in the ring, started whooping up on Hector, and then Dickie tried to pay him off with a handful of money, stacks of money, kicked the money straight out of his hand. The money went flying everywhere. It was wild.
Love it.
It was a great show. Can't wait for this show because the one of the first matches that has been announced is Sam Stackhouse versus the Talk of Texas King Carter.
Ooh, that'll be a great match, putting those two up against each other.
Yeah. I mean, he survived Remington. He did not beat Remington. He survived Remington. And Remington, I think, has a little bit more respect for him now. I've never seen a guy of Kane's size. No, I take that back because I'm sure we've seen smaller guys pick up people larger than them. But, he picked up Remington and pile drived him. I've never seen, anything like that in independent wrestling.
Well, and Kane for sure is definitely bringing an energy that he doesn't care who he goes up against. I mean, the guy's much bigger than him. He'll still take him on. Like Sam Stackhouse.
Sam Stackhouse is large.
Just saying, let's go, baby. Let's go. So
Yeah,
he's a competitor. I love
it's
that.
like, I wonder if this dude has actually seen somebody his size up close. Like,
That's a fair
'cause,
question. When's
like,
the last
it's like-
time he wrestled somebody in his own weight bracket?
that I don't know. Well, no, I take Aaron Helms. Aaron Helms is pretty. They're pretty similar. Like, Aaron Helms is taller, I think. Maybe I'm not 100% sure.
No. When has Kane wrestled somebody
I don't
within his
know.
own weight bracket? That's my point.
Oh, I don't know.
He's wrestling all these monsters.
you got Dutch. Him and Dutch wrestled.
Yep. He did wrestle Dutch. That's right.
So that was the last one, HCW. But then this time was Remington. Before that, it was Dutch for 3 matches straight.
Oh, Remington's a beast, man.
But the size thing, like, could you imagine? Like, I think this is Sam Stackhouse. Has he ever wrestled the dude that always wrestled? He gave you a signed copy of the thing for the Chubby Buddies.
Yep, sure did.
That is so much weight.
Yeah,
Who is that's?
he's
Who is that? Sam Stackhouse.
Right? Yeah,
Sam Stackhouse versus who's the other dude? Maybe I had that wrong. Sam Stackhouse isn't wrestling Kane.
Oh no,
no, it is. It's not Sam Stackhouse. Sam Stackhouse came to the last show at HCW. It is. Oh, it is Sam Stackhouse. Okay, who's the other dude? The dude that gave you the copy of that paper, and he also does like packages, like when he sells his merch. It's not Sam. It's the other guy.
Oh, it was. I know who you're talking about.
Those two together, like, that would take the ring down, dude.
Yeah, those are big fellas. Those are very big fellas. What is? Oh gosh. Now I'm blanking. I got to go back and.
But the last time that I saw Sam wrestle in Wichita was the meat match at HCW. It was Sam Stackhouse, Aaron Helms, Brandon Battler then. Now it's Brandon Cottonwood. And he called it the meat match. And that promo is the funniest promo I've ever seen in my entire life.
The meat match.
Yeah, he called it the Meat Madness. It wasn't the meat match. It was Meat Madness.
Meat Madness.
He said, you're going to see 3 large individuals. This is going to be Meat Madness.
That's great. That's so funny.
But no, that's so far the only match that's actually been announced on HCW's Facebook. But Heidi has now officially challenged Kit Reaver for the Out of Luck title.
Okay.
So they will be facing off at Road to Legacy leading up to HCW's. I don't want to tag it with WrestleMania, but it's essentially HCW's WrestleMania. That's Legacy.
Right. Yep.
So, but the main event, I think it's the main event. It might even be the co-main event, but it's going to be Blade versus Chance Kerrigan at Road to Legacy.
That'll be great. Hopefully Chance Kerrigan will finally get his licks in, man. You know he's just getting frustrated with
with that seventh seal behind, like, I mean, in their own corners, like it's almost unfair.
It's absolutely unfair. It ain't almost. It's absolutely.
But no, but like, who do we know that would have chances back besides Ray? Ray's injured. He's out. Yeah. I mean, you have all these people that are behind Chance, so it wouldn't be. It's not necessarily unfair unless nobody is willing. Yeah,
but how many of them are willing to put their body on the line against the seventh seal, dude? These guys are freaks and destroy everything in their path. That is.
I could see Flex Reed. I could see Flex Reed helping him out in that whole crew. It's the Hard Way.
I'd love to see that.
The Hard Way, I think, stands a chance at standing behind Chance. And then they had the group that came out to fight ACFC for they won a shot of the titles. They interrupted one of the matches. I'm not 100% what their name was again. The Coda brand. That's what it was. Coda brand. Have you ever heard of that?
Okay.
They interrupted the title match between Only Friends. Only Friends had a chance of winning those titles. It was wild.
Did they
If
really?
it wasn't for them coming out, like, it's hard not to say they. Yeah.
Dang. Love it. That's intense, man.
So, but no, their next show is February 15th for Forward Momentum in Leavenworth, and then Wichita's next show is February 22nd. Both of those shows will be live on Facebook, so follow HCW on Facebook. And then also I think they're pushing YouTube on this next one. So I think they got things worked out with them. So
nice. And of course, in person, if they get the chance to go, the doors are still going to open at 5:30,
right?
5
o'clock in Wichita.
Okay.
In Wichita, they open at 5 for VIP matches. And then for regular admission, they open up at 6:00. So the VIP tickets going up into for Legacy, like Legacy sold out 2 months in advance. So like if you want your VIP tickets, so
there you go.
Those will go on.
It, guys.
I think he said the VIP tickets for Legacy will go on sale in the 2 months, like the end of February or beginning of March, one of the two.
So be on the ball, guys, because those tickets will go fast. But if you're coming to check out the February show, it's still $12, correct? Kids still get in free?
Yeah, 12. Yeah, as long as you're with an adult, kids 12 and under get in free.
Good.
They are doing a huge raffle for Angel at this next show with this homemade furniture for outside furniture.
Yeah,
really cool looking stuff.
Really good.
So
those look really good.
They're going to do the 2 chairs at one show. I think that's at this show.
And then the bench at the next one,
and then the bench at either the next one or the Legacy.
Cool.
So they're going to,
that's real cool.
All the proceeds are going to Angel and his recovery after his bad accident, after he lost his brother-in-law.
Love it. I love, I've been seeing him post and his encouragement and just how excited he is to get back into it. So definitely.
It's the fans, man. I think if it wasn't for his fans, he probably wouldn't have, he probably wouldn't be so high and his wife, dude. That's, it's his wife or his fiance. Like she is like, she closed her shop in Colorado to come take care of them. Aid and recovery. Yep. So like shout out to his fiance and his fans, because if it wasn't for either of those two, I don't think he'd be where he's at now.
And it's family, man. You know, everybody there is grieving. So just praying for you guys and praying that the Lord's peace would be with you. That's tough.
For sure. But no, man, why don't we get into why I have my damn beard drier than sandpaper. Like, I know that, like, I'm going to have to get in the shower immediately, and I'm going to have to use so much conditioner.
You are.
Like, I could probably, I don't know.
At least your beard will be nice and soft after you're done, but you're going to have to go through probably 3/4 of your bottle.
Nah, but it feels like it.
Yeah. Look at that.
That's
the pen just hangs. It just hangs in there.
That's insane.
That's great. Well, obviously, like we said before, we've got a beautiful red beard and this obnoxiously green mustache and little soul patch going on.
Yeah, I had to do the soul patch.
I appreciate the soul patch. That's a nice touch.
I had to do that. I took a dude wipe and kind of cleaned the chin up a little bit because I had a mixture of red and green in there.
Yeah.
So it looks a little bit more. I could have went a different color right there if I really wanted to. Maybe some purple.
I think it looks great. So
some purple for some New Orleans colors, since they are playing in New Orleans.
Yep. They are. It's going to be so exciting.
But no, let's talk about the big game. All right.
Yeah.
Like, Chiefs are taking on the Eagles for the second time in the Super Bowl. I mean, the Chiefs have only played 3 teams in the Super Bowl.
I know. Isn't that nuts?
Out of their 5 appearances, they played 3 teams: Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the 49ers, and the Eagles.
This will actually be, let me get this right.
5. This is 5.
No.
Patrick Mahomes' 5th Super Bowl.
Right.
He lost 1.
Right. But then you have to count the first Super Bowl that we won. Yeah. Where we played the Packers.
No, you guys played the 49ers in your first Super Bowl.
The first Super Bowl.
I'm talking about Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, you're talking the Mahomes era. Okay.
Yeah.
So in the modern era, yes. 5 Super Bowls. We've only ever played the 49ers, the Eagles, and
Tampa Bay.
And Tampa Bay. Lost to Tampa Bay.
And before it was the Super Bowl, they played the Green Bay Packers.
Yep.
So stupid.
Super Bowl 1.
Well, actually, technically, if you go back and look, Super Bowl didn't get adopted until 73.
It wasn't called Super Bowl until after, but they do retroactively.
And
call
the Vikings is who they beat. So.
Yep. Oh, that's right.
That was actually your first Super Bowl. You lost to the Packers Super Bowl 1, beat the Vikings in Super Bowl 3.
Won Super Bowl 4 against the Vikings.
4.
That's right. Yep.
And that was and that's 2 years after the Super Bowl name was adopted.
Right.
So either way you look at it, like that by itself is weird, because I don't even think the Patriots did do that with the Giants, I think.
Oh, yeah, as far as playing a team twice.
The same, yeah, and losing to them twice.
Yep.
Now, and the Eagles. They beat the Eagles once and lost to the Eagles the second time.
Yep.
They also played, who else did they play? Like, they played a different team every year almost.
certainly feels like it. I'm trying to remember. They played the Raiders. Who else have they played?
They didn't play the Raiders in the Super Bowl.
They didn't? Oh, no.
They couldn't have.
They couldn't. That's AFC.
They would have played
Sorry. I was thinking
Green Bay. Did they play Green Bay when Aaron Rodgers won his? No, that was the Steelers. He beat the Steelers. Did they play the Saints? No, the Saints have only been to one and won one. Well, when in modern era. Man, it's wild. Did they play the 49ers? No, that was the Ravens.
They beat the Rams, the Panthers, the Eagles, the Seahawks, the Falcons.
Oh, yeah.
You remember the Falcons win?
I do.
Gosh.
One of the greatest Super Bowls of my life. Like, greatest comebacks for history.
That was so nuts.
I was at your parents' house that Super Bowl. It was me, Walter, Jordan, and who else was there? Somebody else was there. And I was like, they're like, oh, this is over. That was at halftime. And I was like, dude, I'm not ever going to count Tom Brady out.
Poor Walter having to endure that with all of you guys. That's
twice.
So
he had to do that twice in his life. 97, I think he did it in too, or 98 or something like that.
The amount of trash talking he had to have been doing for a majority of that game.
Well, no, that's the thing. He didn't do any trash talking at the halftime. He's like, "Oh, this is over." He goes, "We got it. It's in." I was like, "Dude, I'm never counting Tom Brady out ever."
Well, you were right not to, because Tom Brady came back.
But he did it once. Oh, he gets to the Broncos when they lost in 97 to the Broncos.
Yep.
So, like, dude, there's so many like possibilities that have gone on in our lifetime of Super Bowls, being the fact that like history's been made, and that's what I enjoy about it. But let's talk about. We'll do the predictions at the very end. All right, we'll do our predictions at the very end. All right,
sounds good.
The hate towards the Kansas City Chiefs is like it's almost equivalent to how much people hate the Cowboys, like the fans.
I wouldn't disagree. And like it's everything too. Like they say the refs are with us. They say we cheat. They say we get away with stuff. Like it's
the people that say that the refs
thing
are helping them win are the false fans of football.
Yep.
And it's almost impossible. I mean, yeah, it's possible for a ref to fix a game, but like it's going to get seen and they're going to lose their job.
Absolutely.
Like it's not going to go on for every single week. The Chiefs just know how to finish a game and get the job done. That's all it is.
Exactly it. Did you see that insane stat that talked about when a team is down by less than 7?
Oh, the Wingo stat. Dude, I have that memorized.
Do you? Let's hear it.
Yes. Since 2001, there's been 125 postseason plays.
I love this.
And in those 125 plays, a team that has been down by either 7 points or 3 points has only came back 40% of the time. And in that amount of time, they needed either a field goal or a touchdown to either to take the lead or to tie the game to take it into overtime. Tom Brady has done it 7 out of 11 times. Drew Brees has done it 2 out of 4 times or 2 out of 6 times. I don't remember that exactly.
Like 3 out of 6, but yeah.
But it's a 50% or something.
It's about 50%-ish.
There's only one player to ever be 100%, and he is 7 for 7, and that is Mr. Patrick Mahomes.
Isn't that insane?
Oh, it's insane.
Talk about being a clutch player. That is such an insane stat.
I could be wrong about, like, I just remember hearing it. I was like, I had to listen to it probably 6 times to really kind of like soak it in. I was like, man.
Yeah, Tom Brady sits, I can't remember what the numbers were. I thought it was like 46%. Drew Brees was a little lower than that. I think he was like
I think he's right at 50. No, he's higher than Tom Brady, I think.
He was lower than Tom Brady. Tom Brady was the higher of the numbers, and then Patrick.
Well, no, I'm saying out of the percentage. So, like, if Tom Brady did it this many more times and he did it less than half the amount, I think Drew Brees is right at 50%. I think he did it 3 for 6 times.
What'd you call it? The Wingo stat?
It's Wingo. Wingo was the guy that was on Trey Wingo. Trey Wingo, the sports analyst.
Gotcha.
He's the one that brought it up. So like it's Drew Brees, I think, is right at 50%. And I think he's 3 for 6 being down in the postseason, not for a Super Bowl, but in the postseason. And Tom Brady, I think, is like 7 for I don't know. He's less than 50%. He's like right at 46 or 48%. Might even be like 6 for 11 or 5 for 11 or something like that. But then Patty Mahomes is 7 for 7. Perfect. So if he has the ball last in the postseason, he gets the job done 100% of the time.
Let's see. I've got it right here.
Tom Brady's is either 5 for 11 or 4 for 11.
Yeah, 125 drives in the NFL postseason where at least the fourth quarter and there's under 1 minute to play and the team on offense trailed by 7 points or fewer. Out of those 125 drives, like you said, 40% of the time did the team pull it off. Tom Brady is 5 of 11, 46%. You're right. Breeze is a little higher at 3 out of 6 at 50%. And Patrick Mahomes is 7 for 7.
See, how good is that for me having to hear it like
that's epic.
I did pretty good for only here. I think I heard it like 11 times.
Yeah. But that stat is insane. And that just tells you, like you said, the Chiefs find a way to win games.
Well, let's just take the stat. The stat is awesome, all right? Take the stats out, cool. All right? Take the stats out.
Yep.
It takes more than a stat to prove like what could happen, like what to plan for. Okay, it takes the front office. That's why we say any given Sunday, baby. It takes the front office to be on the same page as everybody behind them. So from the drafting to the free agent signing and all that stuff. Yep. Then it takes to the gameplay,
systems to the
gameplay,
the game,
so clock management, all that other stuff. Yep. But what it all boils down to, the common denominator is coaching.
Yep. I agree.
And if you deny that, then you are not a fan of sports.
Well, I think it's why when you look at it, you would say the consistent thing. Yes, they had a great quarterback, so you need an on the field general, but nobody would look at the Patriots and say Tom Brady did all of that. Everybody agrees that the magic was because you had Brady and Belichick.
But when was the last time you heard anything negative come out of either the Chiefs locker room or the Patriots locker room when the Patriots were on their run? Never.
That's a good point.
It's the environment that you have built around you.
I will say this. The Patriots never seemed as wholesome to me as the Chiefs do. The Chiefs, to me, are consistently.
But is that because we didn't? Is that because we didn't hear as much of it when the internet really didn't blow up until after that?
Maybe, but I always felt like even in interviews and stuff, you still had like Tom Brady was notorious for chewing his guys out. And,
but is that necessarily negative?
No, but it's his approach. His approach was always harsh. Right. It was always critical. Like he's a competitor. And if you're going to compete, you got to compete with Brady. To me, like Patrick's a competitor, but I don't see him tearing down.
But you also don't hear about it. You hear other people doing it. You hear people, Travis Kelce's chewing down their throats. It's not the quarterback.
Right.
Travis Kelce did it to the guy, the kickoff, the punt returner.
Right.
He's like, that's not greatness. That's all he had to say. He's like, yeah, you're right. So then the next play that he got the ball, he ran it for a 60-yard punt return.
Yep.
You just don't see that. Like Tom Brady was a verbal teacher, I guess. But like what I'm saying is you didn't hear the negative stuff coming out of the locker room from the players. You don't have people tweeting. Yeah. You don't have people tweeting, "Oh, they're so rough on me, blah 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 blah." Yeah. No, it's a culture thing.
Not people complaining, saying they're ready to get out and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not getting paid enough money. I don't get the ball enough. I don't get this. Like you don't hear that coming from the Chiefs, and you never heard that coming from the Patriots.
No, and it's funny. I'm thinking, I look at like Tyreek Hill and his situation where he left, to get a better deal and to head for home.
More money.
That I would say he was also headed home. He's from he's from that area. He's actually from Georgia, but. He's an East Coast kid. So, but like here we are now, he wants to come back. He's not going to, but like
he had an interview with the Cowboys.
That says something about the culture that the players who have left want to come back and be a part of it. And I also really love I was going to say I also really love how much I hear other players who have been a part of our team are still like hardcore cheering us on.
Right.
Like
the
I was
only
reading,
bad
I think
thing
it was
ever
Colin
said about
Sanders,
Andy
who's
Reid
down
of the
with Saints
program.
now, talking about how pumped he is to watch the Chiefs succeed.
Right. And the only negative person talking bad about the Chiefs is Le'Veon that ever was Le'Veon Bell. That was it. He said he'll never play for Andy Reid again. That's one out of how many players who have played under Andy Reid.
Oh, exactly.
So
I mean,
my
there's
argument
people
is
outside of Chiefs organization talking bad about us. I'd say the Bengals.
right, but I'm saying
1.
people who have been coached under Andy Reid, the one who has that respect.
Absolutely, very few speak poorly of the team and of Andy Reid.
And what I was trying to push is that, the stats are awesome. People can say, oh, like, I think Elm said it pretty good too. Like, this is a Michael Jordan moment in our era, which, I mean, I agree with it. But I also think that, like, the coaching, even with Michael Jordan, because Michael Jordan had Dennis Rodman, Michael Jordan had Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan had Stephen Kerr, Michael Jordan had all the same factors that Patrick Mahomes has. But the one thing that was like a common denominator and a major factor in a game or any type of season was the coaching.
Yep, I agree. That and culture.
So,
I would say there's just a culture of hard work.
Coaching creates the culture.
I know. Coaching creates the culture. You're right about that. You're absolutely right about that.
So,
I think the only way we could see even better is if Ted Lasso became a real person and became a coach. I think he would create the best culture.
Andy Reid is probably the closest form of like you never hear him talk negative.
I agree,
but I mean he doesn't have weird puns or anything like that.
Andy Reid's a pretty dang close image of what Ted Lasso is. I like it.
I mean, the only one that has like the same humor, I think, would probably be the Dolphins coach.
Sorry, you cut out. Say that again.
Oh, I said the only person that probably had his humor would probably be the Dolphins coach.
Oh yeah, Mike McDaniel's hilarious to me. You can tell he's a young guy though with the comments he makes.
But yeah, that Wingo stat, when I heard it, I was like, I got to hear that again. I got to hear it one more time. But that's the only reason why I remember it is because I heard it like 600 or 700 times. I don't know, but it's impressive. Those stats are impressive. The stats that they have with each other, with him and Travis, or him and all the offensive linemen, like it's the fact that everybody knows what their ultimate job is supposed to be, and that's just to get the job done, whether that be from whistle to whistle or even in the locker room. They all know what it is, and that's why they're successful, not because they have all these stats or because they have these key players. Like the key players are great and they do play a factor. I mean, don't get me wrong, but like when they all also know like what needs to be done and they're all on the same page. Why do you think us as the Hutchinson Hawks were so good? We didn't have the speed or the size on our team. We were all on the same page and we knew how to get the job done.
D1 athletes. It was
zero on our team.
A really good coaching team. We had a solid culture. And
now the culture could have been better. I'm not denying that.
I agree with that, but I would say the competitiveness of our culture was good. We had elements that weren't great.
I also think that a lot of us needed that type of culture at some point in our life. Like you sort of needed that, like
the discipline, the
discipline, and like not necessarily being a fear of the coach, but having the fear of like messing up and getting like put on blast.
Right,
like that's what we didn't want.
Yep, exactly.
So we knew what we needed to do, and that was to get the job done. Show up to weights. Show up to practice, show up to film, like do all that stuff.
Yep. Put in the work.
And then all that stuff will make up. So
put in the work.
Let's get to the
payoff.
Oh yeah. I mean, we have 2 state championships, went to 3.
Yep.
So
sure did.
I don't regret ever playing football. Anybody who does, I think that they just didn't. And usually those are the ones that didn't want to get told what to do, in my opinion.
Oh, we experienced that, but I think every football team has players like that. It's crazy to me that still exists even at the NFL level, because you know that it does.
I think it probably exists more in the NFL because they're adults.
Yep.
It's a total different game.
Yep.
Like it blows my mind that there's a player on a team
that people don't talk about enough in a football player is humility. I think humility is a huge part of being a good football player.
Because I don't think you can be a successful player if you don't have humility.
I would agree. To an extent, I would agree. I don't know that Prime had much humility when he played.
I think he had more humility than he's willing to admit. We just don't hear it. He just talks about himself so much. But is that not having humility, or is he just being? You have the same thing.
Well, he wasn't.
You weren't cocky. You weren't cocky. You were what's the word?
Confident.
Confident. There's a difference. He's just a confident individual. He didn't ever put anybody down, like coach wise.
No,
I never heard him say anything bad about a coach.
Player?
As a player.
No, not as a coach. Not a coach. Other players, and that's the thing. Player to player, there's always smack talk. There's stuff like that. But you're right. There always has to be a level of humility, especially towards a coach.
Because I don't think Dion would be the coach he is.
Great you are, you have to be willing to grow and get better in the areas where you lack.
And the reason I say that is because of how well he's been able to coach. Like, he wouldn't have had that. If he didn't have humility, he wouldn't be able to coach like he is today. He's so successful as a coach.
I still think that the Dion that we saw play is not the Dion that we see coaching.
Well, no, because he's a parent now. Like he's more of a parent and he's a coach now. Obviously,
I'd say
he still has that player mentality.
I'd say he's a lot more active in his faith.
Look at his. Well, yeah, he like they were trying to kick him out of like being able to have like a preacher come and do prayer. He's like, I ain't doing that. And all of his players have a 3.0 GPA.
Mm-hmm.
No other coach can say that.
He holds a high standard, and I love what he said every time when people ask him about it, that he is coaching these young boys into men. It's not just about being on the football field. He's coaching these young boys into men, and I love that. That's solid.
But that right there goes to tell you that I think he has the humility. He's just not willing to like verbally say that. Like we don't hear that. But Jamie Foxx also does it pretty well. Like I don't know if you watched the like he has this little interview that he talked about with Al Pacino, Any Given Sunday. You know that speech, the Life is a Game of Inches?
Yeah.
Originally, he was just reading that speech as though he was an actor. And Jamie Foxx actually came up to him and he was like, hey, this is the way that I would do it. And he goes, you don't have to listen to me. I'm a lower actor than you are. And Al Pacino took it as advice. He said, I want you to talk to these men as though, because we didn't grow up with a father in our house. Most of us didn't. He said, we grew up in a bad neighborhood. So talk to us like a dad, but be stern. And that's that's where he got the inspiration to talk like that in that movie.
It's a good speech too. I love that one.
But like, I think the humility part of it, like, yeah, Prime is Prime. Like he doesn't normally give shine to anybody else because he was one of the greatest players
to be in the spotlight.
NFL.
He's prime time.
But that's not cockiness necessarily. It's confidence.
Confidence. I like it.
So why don't we get to the big game?
Yes.
What do you see happen? Jordan did it. I think it was 2 Super Bowls ago or 3 Super Bowls. I don't remember. But he had the halftime score and then he had the final score. He didn't have the actual number. He just had the deficit.
Yeah.
So halftime, what do you think happens? Going into the locker room, what's the score?
I think it's tied 17-17.
I think it is Chiefs. I think Chiefs are going to be down at halftime on this one. I think it's going to be 13-7.
Oh, you're thinking real defense heavy.
Yeah, I mean that's who wins championship. That's who wins Super Bowl.
And both of these defenses are pretty stout. 17.
The final score
for a halftime score.
The final score.
Let's hear it.
28-31 Chiefs.
Yeah, I like hearing that. I'm going to say, go ahead.
Oh, I could also see overtime.
Oh, I could see overtime as well. I'm not going to predict it though. I think ultimately it's 34-28 Chiefs.
I'm only like they're predicted to win by 1.5 points. I'm going to give them 3. I mean, I think the last week's game the AFC Championship was Patrick Mahomes' best played game in this season so far.
So good.
Stat wise, what he was able to do with
the original game against the Texans was the best defensively game we've played all year. So
the defense is good all season.
All the high points right now. Yeah, but 8 sacks. But the
AFC Championship, they showed what they needed to do to win. Like if you don't have that blitz,
I'm not saying they didn't play well. Just the way they played in the division round was incredible, and I'm hoping we can bring that kind of pressure on Jalen.
The only thing I see being the problem, but you guys shut down the Ravens running back like it was nothing. The first time you guys played him.
We did.
Like, I think he had one touchdown, less than 70 yards.
Yep. Which
And then you guys did the
that
exact-
is absolutely a shutdown.
You guys also did the exact same. Who was that? The Texans running back, Mixon. Is that who it was?
Yep. Back then, it's not now, but
I think you guys played him in the divisional game.
oh, they don't have Mixon anymore, do they?
I thought they did.
Oh,
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I could be wrong.
They had Eckler or no,
Yeah, Austin Eckler's there. I didn't know that.
wasn't he?
I just
think
thought it
so.
was Mixon. Oh, Mixon's hurt. That's what it was. He's on the IR, I think.
No, Eckler's on the Commanders. Who's
Oh,
the
okay.
who's
Chiefs
the Texans running back?
playoff record. It was.
Oh, it is Mixon.
It is Mixon?
Yeah, it's Mixon.
Okay.
Why was I thinking? Oh, Mixon was with the Browns. That's where he was.
He was with the Bengals.
Bengals? Yes.
Yeah,
Bengals.
he got traded from the
That's it.
Bengals.
From the Bengals to the Texans.
Yeah. But you guys shut down. You guys played the Texans at the end of the season, and then you guys played them again here. But if you look back at it, like you guys shut down Derrick Henry like it was nothing.
Our defense against the run is stout. Like there's no question about it. I really love Nick Bolton. To me, is the like centerpiece of our whole defense. Man, the way he comes crashing in, and then Spags always has some good like safety blitzes with Justin Reed that I really like. That bring
His is
all
timing.
sorts of
Spags'
pressure.
Spags' coaching book is the impeccable timing that he has.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. His defensive schemes and his timing for that stuff is phenomenal. He worries me because sometimes he won't bring a blitz package on third, and I'm like, "Come on, we need a blitz here." But
I'd be fine with
he knows
that.
what
Like,
he's doing, man. He knows what he's doing.
This is the best defense the Chiefs have ever had in the past. I would say their entire franchise. The past 4 seasons have been the best Chiefs defense, the best the Chiefs defense has ever been.
I want to argue that because it takes my favorite player out of the conversation.
He had like one of the best games.
Wrong. You're not wrong. As a defense, we were good back then, but we just weren't good enough. And this defense is good enough. So I do have to admit it that this defense is better than DT's defense. And I would say if you're looking for a close comparison, watch George Karlaftis come off the ball. It's reminiscent of Derek Thomas.
And one guy that's on the Eagles that I think is very comparable is their linebacker that they got. He is impressive. I think this is his second year. And I'm not trying to get your hopes up, but Eagles linebacker. What's his name? Zach Bond. That dude, when they played, who was it that they were playing? Oh, it was the Rams. He had 3 in one series. He had 3 tackles for losses, 2 sacks, 1 batted ball, and all in one series to make them punt.
Phenomenal. That's epic.
So I think this is going to be one of the best, if not the best Super Bowls, like score-wise, like back and forth. Like,
yes.
I don't think a Super Bowl should be a blowout.
A very fun game to watch.
Yeah, a Super Bowl should not be a blowout.
If not boring for people because it's Eagles Chiefs again.
I'd rather watch a competitive Super Bowl than a blowout any day of the week.
Same.
No matter what the team is. Now, if it was my team, yeah, of course, I want that cushion. I want that breathing room.
You feel better about it. Like that
25-point deficit.
I've had anxiety is crazy.
Good, but I think a blowout in the first half is always like premature. Like,
yes, it's terrifying because then you're afraid Atlanta's going to happen all over again.
But with the Chiefs, but it also has happened with the Chiefs. I mean, let's look at back 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
I've yelled at Andy before for taking his foot off the throttle.
Tyreek had 300,
he had
200 yards in the first half that one game, and then they came back and only won by 6 or something.
Mhm.
It is
He's
crazy.
done it before. He's had issues with it. I would say as of recently, he doesn't seem to do it as often. He still plays pretty strategic, but in the past, he's taken his foot off the throttle, and it's cost us a time or two.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look at the way that the Chiefs just know how to play in the postseason,
Yep.
like they're a postseason team, they're a fourth quarter, however you want to put it, fourth quarter team, postseason team.
That's the way Dad always said it. Fourth quarter team.
I mean, second half team, like we've heard that too. Like the Chiefs just know what to do to get the job done. That's all there is.
All
to
I
it.
care-
That's why they only
like-
lost 2 games in the season.
First indicator of us winning this game is winning the coin toss. Win the coin toss and defer.
Well, I think this is the only Super Bowl you guys have been the favorites to win, right? By 1.5 points.
Yeah, I think so. Every
Yes, sir.
other one we've been in, we were not the favorite to win.
Which I find that
Well, I
odd.
think one of the 49ers games we were.
No, you were the underdog in the first Super
I knew
Bowl
in
that
the
you guys
first
won,
one we were the underdog.
and this one.
Were we in last year?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. You guys have been underdogs in every single Super Bowl because I remember them making a big deal about it,
Oh,
except for this one.
yep.
So
So there you go.
I think you guys also perform better when you guys are the least favorite to win.
I absolutely agree with that.
So
When
hopefully
we're
they
fighting
don't know
for
that they're the
something, when
favorite.
we're fighting uphill. That's our competitive spirit. So absolutely agree.
I'm happy to see it, but I did want to get this episode out before that, so that way we could put this out Friday.
Say that again. You cut out.
Oh, I said that's why I wanted to record this episode so I can put it out Friday.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
So, but I'm gonna go wash the shit out of my beard.
Go get it clean, man.
'Cause-
Let us know
'cause
how
it's
much of
itchy.
that conditioner it takes.
Oh, I'm just gonna wash this out and then put a little bit in because if I overdo it, then it'll be wild tomorrow.
Love it. All right. Well, cool, man. I love you. This
I
was
love
fun.
you too, and don't forget to support our sponsors, Rage Bait
Yes,
Jerky,
make
and
sure you
also
get you some of that beef
Heartland
jerky. Gosh,
Championship
so good.
Wrestling.
Yep.
Yeah, the owner of Rage is arguably the number one Chiefs fan that I know besides Jordan. Like,
He's a diehard.
yeah, you are a Chiefs fan,
He's a
but
diehard.
not
Love
many people can name the first, second, and third string players of their teams, and I know I can't. So that's why I say those two are the number 1 and number 2 Chiefs fans.
It's in depth. It's
They're the
borderline
Rain Man
nerdy.
of the Chiefs.
So make
But
sure
I love
get
you,
to-
and
make
we
sure
love
you
all of
follow
you.
him at HCW Live 23 on all the socials and join
follow
us
us also.
either online or in person for the shows. It's going to be phenomenal. So otherwise,
And
make sure you're snacking good, and we'll see you next time.
yeah, share your Super Bowl.
Yeah, tell us your
Plates.
Super Bowl snacks, your foods.
Take a picture, share it to
Your
our
eats.
Facebook.
Yeah.
Talk about it, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know
Talk
what you're
about
eating.
how delicious it all looks.
But I love you, buddy, and we love all
it
of
too,
you.
man. We love all of you, buddies. Take care. We'll see you soon.
Bye.